Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Friday, the 8th of November. Ionis, how you doing, my friend? Daryl, how you doing, buddy? Andrew, how are you? Ryan, anyone know if the market is open on Monday? That's a good question. Second. Where would we be? I think the next holiday is Thanksgiving, the end of November, so I haven't got anything on my sheet here. I've got the CME 2024 trading schedule, so I've got nothing. So you US guys probably know more than me, so not that I'm aware of. So market is due open in less than a minute. We've had a leg up there with a break, and this looks like it's pushing up. Starting to look like a range. I believe it is the bond market closes. Okay, I'm not sure. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? I'm not too sure what's going on. But yeah, next, I think it's the end of the month, Thanksgiving, isn't it? Another US holiday. So, and then it'll be Christmas before you know it. So that's unbelievable, isn't it? How quick Christmas is coming around. That's unreal, that is. So market is ching open. Okay. So started off ranging, I think, years flown by year. As I say this every Christmas, I think this is the third Christmas or fourth Christmas. 1, 2, 3, the third Christmas I remember, I think. I actually started, so it'll be 4 years ago, Christmas, well, December. I remember my wife bought me a book, Trading the Financial Markets, 4 years ago this Christmas. So I kind of took an interest. It would have been this time 4 years ago. And then my wife bought me a book. So, yeah, so we've got a leg and a leg, and we're coming up to these what look like early range tops. So let's see what happens today, but quite low volume overnight. It did this really, and then we had that drop, 2 pushes up. But yeah, the year has flown by, hasn't it? I think last Christmas I actually took the whole period off. I think it's about 11 days or something. I'll tell you what, let's have a look. Let's get in early and have a look. Come on, move this. You can see that, can't you? Yeah, you can. Yeah. So December, we're into January there. So December, okay, so 23rd is a Monday. So obviously 24th, no point is there, 23rd. So Saturday, Sunday, I'm not sure. In fact, I might just come in just for an hour or so. We'll see what the market's like, and we can just say hello, maybe have a bit of Christmas music, maybe have a glass of wine and have a little chit chat or something, say our Merry Christmases and pat each other on the back for making a fortune this year. And then I think that's it then. So we've got 25th, 26th, Friday the 27th, not going to bother. Everyone will be off before that Christmas period. Excuse me, Monday the 30th. I might just sit in for an hour those 2 days and see what happens, and obviously back in on Thursday. But I actually had that whole period off last year, and I really felt recuperated for it. So if I came in on there, so we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days off, and then back in on the 2nd. So that day and that day, New Year's Eve, I'm not going to bother because it'll just be quiet. But those 2 days, maybe just nip in for an hour and, say Merry Christmas and then say Happy New Year the week after, something like that. Did you guys see? Yes, we did. I think someone mentioned it on the stream, but I had a couple of emails yesterday, and someone messaged me, you haven't got any money in Fast Track, and I haven't anyway. So, but yeah, I think John lost a little bit. I don't think it was a huge amount. He didn't sound too upset about it, but it will be a shame, I dare say, you know, if people are building accounts up, there are going to be people out there with a considerable amount of money in there. But it is frustrating that there's nothing worse than spending your time and money, and you build up some capital in there, which is your money as far as I'm concerned, and they do that to you. I hope there's going to be some way that people can get some compensation for it. But that guy, I don't know. He just comes over as just so dodgy to me. But there's nothing more frustrated. Sounds to me like he jumped in, tried to make a few bucks, didn't really know what he was doing. And then, when things got tough, just took everything and ran, I think. Now that is just, I am just coming out with a frustrated opinion, but it's not nice to see anybody losing money. So, measured move played out perfectly, and we're back into the range. I am waiting here just in case this thing decides to. So for the people who yeah, absolutely. I think if we can learn something from here, I think sometimes it's best to let a new prop form have 12 months record or something and just see what sort of feedback you get. Because I know, if I remember rightly, you had to pay quite a lot of money for those accounts. So, if you've got 5 or 10 accounts, not only with money in, but what you've had to pay for them, you can be losing a fair few $1,000. Yeah, I suppose maybe in future, if we can learn something from it, we just wait a little bit and then just give these new prop firms a chance to sort of develop and see how things turn out. So there may be a channel there. I'm a little bit hesitant at the moment because to me, with this bounce up here and a bounce and back up to this level, at the moment, it's looking more rangy to me. So if we do get a pullback, I don't know whether I'll be inclined to get in or not. I'll probably have to sit on the sideline and see what happens. But I'll tell you a video I did watch last night. Was it Worst Streamer Fails? And who was on it? Oh, what's his name? Patrick Whelan was on it. I think he was someone, I don't know, by the sounds things, made a suggestion in his stream or something that he listened to and ended up losing a ton of money. He absolutely lost his shit. He was shouting and screaming. I forget who made the video, but I've got to say, when I was a little bit less experienced, maybe when I started a year or two ago, excuse me, when I was in a trade, occasionally someone said, I wouldn't do that, and you would get out, or I'd jump in here. And when people make suggestions like that, we don't get it now because, one, obviously a little bit more experienced now and I know a bit more of what I'm doing, and I don't take a lot of trades anyway. But yeah, if someone says, as soon as you jump in a trade, I don't know about this, I'd get out if I was you. And if you get out and it goes on to win, it can be frustrating, and vice versa. Someone would say, this is definitely going up or something, and you jump in. But I don't get that anymore. One, because I'm a little bit better at what I'm doing now, and I don't take many trades. But he absolutely lost it. He was shouting and screaming, saying, "That's it. I don't know why I listen to you guys. I'm not streaming anymore." It was quite witty, actually. But there was a couple of guys on there that lost a ton of money. This one guy's computer crashed. And it was primarily people trading without a stop loss, and all of a sudden something happened and the market absolutely tanked. And this one guy, he lost $118,000. Wow, I remember those Harjit days. Yeah, it's funny you should say that. As I was saying that, it just popped into my head. I think what happened, he was going, I go long here, I go short here, and every time he was saying it, he was right. So I know in the end he said, I go short here, so I thought, sod it. So I put a short order in, and the market started to backtrack. So I moved me stop because I thought he's bound to be right, and I moved me stop. I ended up losing my account. So it just goes to show you, when you're a bit less experienced, you can be inclined to listen to people. He was very convincing, and if you remember rightly, I was putting a number on here how many times he was right. But you got to be wrong sometimes, and I think it was 8 or 9 times he was right in a row. He didn't sound like he knew what he was doing, but the trouble is, when you see that, it's very hard not to affect your decision making. Now, there's possibly 1, 2, 3 a triple test here. Now, I missed a triple test yesterday. I don't know if you remember that big channel up. It was it here? 1, 2, 3, because the channel was a bit different. So now my concern is, if this is a channel, we've got some space to get back to. If it is a range, it's made a second attempt to go up, so it may trigger you and come down. Yeah, exactly, which is why I'm leaving it. It's not formed anyway. It has on my other chart. Well, it's looking like it, but no, I wouldn't get any along because, it may work, but if this is a channel, I'd want to get in here, but it is 2 legs back. So, but the trouble is, if this is a range, is it just it's been up here twice. Second time we've come down. Are we going to retest this underside and come down? I mean, it's irrelevant if it works. It just doesn't matter anyway. Won the bars, naff. It's much better on this chart, but we're right into support. So ordinarily, I'd never take that anyway. Because not only that, look, it's a second entry long triggered. This is quite likely a failure, and this could come down. And if it does come down, 2 legs up, try to go once, try to go twice. If that fails, I dare say it'll come down. So I wouldn't go long anyway. It's irrelevant whether it works. But yeah, we've had a few characters on the stream, but we've got a nice bunch now. Everyone gets on nice. I've been quite lucky, actually. There was that one guy once in a blue moon that he came on. Money Max, they nicknamed him. Some of the guys on the stream. He just, I don't know, he just wanted to have a dig at everybody. So, leg and a leg. There is a failure there, but I am just staying out of this at the moment, I think. Money Max, he would say stuff like, he would come on and saying, all your charts are wrong, you're this, you're that, the other, and I'd be looking at my charts and then looking at Max in the evening, saying, looking at them exactly the same, looking at Thomas Wade's. We don't see him anymore. And I'm thinking, how can a channel like that be wrong? All right, maybe it hasn't confirmed that, but he just, some people just want to be nasty. I don't know why they do it. But he's one we had to sort of get rid of at some point. But we've been pretty lucky, actually. We got some decent people here now, and we have kind of a nice. I consider you guys as my work colleagues. We have a really nice working relationship. And as I say, I chat to everyone. I had a message from Sean. I had a nat with him this morning. I like it. It's a nice feeling to come here every day and get to know people and do your stuff together. And hopefully help each other. So what is going on here? Is this thing going to come back into this chart? It is 2 legs. It's not really confirmed that. It's got to confirm it. You'd have to hit it a 3rd time and push up, really. So what I may do is... In fact, I'm going to leave it for now. It's only really had 2 legs up as for now. Having said that, I'm not in a rush to go short here just yet. I'd rather this push below that EMA really and then come back and retest. So if we can have a breakout pullback. In fact, I'm going to put that there because you can clearly see there is support along there. What I don't want to do is have a second entry short and then think about going short. So I'm just going to put that line there just to see if it has any connection with it at any point. They used to be on the Penguin on Panda stream, just keep saying things like took long, easy money. Yeah, anyone that says it's easy. Do you know, do you remember there was a guy I talked to quite a lot, Paul. I think he was from Australia or New Zealand, and I got on all right with him. He had a bit of a funny attitude to stuff. He'd just message me and go, made $3,000 today, easy peasy. And I go, I'm struggling to find a trade. And he'd say, I found 3 or 4 really easy. And then I get a message saying, I'm not trading Max System now, I'm trading something else. And I had weird messages like that. And when I started a Facebook group, I put a code on there for Apex, and I got a shitty message from him saying, oh, that's it, Apex are crap, you're advertising them, I'm going. And that's the last I heard of him. But I talked to him all the time, so he was a bit... Where is he? He'll be down here somewhere. Paul Morgan. I chatted to him. I had loads of messages from Paul. But some of the things he said were just a bit odd. And that's the last I heard of him. He blocked me and disappeared. So you do get some... weirdos, haven't we? But I'm lucky, actually. Sam, how you doing, my friend? Now, look at that. It's working off that line. But this could be a breakout pullback. If this is a range, this could trigger you, give you a failure and come down, or a lower high, whatever you want to call it. That's the failure, really, isn't it? But I'm just sitting tight here because if you look on this chart, which is my other 2000 tick chart, this could be a breakout pullback. And in fact...
Order submitted.
I'm going to put that on the engulfing bar. Well, we'll see. I might actually sit and hold here. No, it's not triggered.
Order cancelled.
It's all right. I thought we might trigger that and then push down, and because it's tried multiple times to get up. So my gut feeling, this is probably going to come down now. Good, mate. I'm all right, mate. I'm doing okay, bud. I'm in a good place at the moment, actually. Okay, so we've got 3 bars there, so I'm still a bit uncertain about getting long gear with such a lot of support around here. So I'm just going to sit tight here. So we've come down and confirmed that quite nicely. But because we've had 3 pushes up and it's pushed below the EMA, you don't know whether we're going to have a last try, trap some longs, and then this thing's going to drop. I'm not saying it is, but if it does, I certainly don't want to be long. See, on this chart, same again, we've trapped another bull bar, so there's going to be people going long off there. But that is, it's not getting below that EMA, so see if we got a trade, if we got a channel like that, which doesn't look terrible. We've got three or four bars there working up, and now we've just broken above it, so I don't want to go long into this anyway, regardless of whether it works. I mean, you could say it's a failed breakout, but the trouble is you could get a breakout pullback. It may push up, trigger that, and come down. So it's just sitting and waiting for me. Yeah, so you don't know it's going to do that. So let's put that there now. I'm happy to say that that has confirmed it, and it's pushed up quite strongly. Now, whether it'll push cleanly above this and continue up, but we're getting very close to all-time highs again, which we made at that last bit of yesterday. We've had 1, 2. See, we are getting some rejection here, aren't we? We got some there. Had a bunch of pushes, got some there. Had a bunch of pushes, got some here. So let's see where this goes. I wish Penguin had live stream. I think he'd get a really good following. I think he's a really skilled trader. I do. Okay, new time, new highs again. Yeah, someone did go long there. This could be a fail breakout. It's progressively getting lower, so that for me is just a bit tricky because it could trigger you, come down and stop you out, and then start to move down. I don't think many took it. Someone did. A couple took the higher low. I haven't got one on my chart. I haven't got one on the second one either. Yeah, I only saw one link. All due respect to the guy that took it, he's a newbie. Which one is he? Oh, Lex or something, isn't he? Yeah, I think he was the only one I can see, I think. How long have you been with Thomas Wade's, Andrew? And if you've been a while, mate, who's a good trader on there that I can keep an eye out for? I know Marco, I know Taylor, and I know, obviously, Thomas. 4 months, mate. Oh, it's about the same time as me, then. It's hard to know who's good and who isn't. The only reason I know sort of Thomas Wade, Taylor, and Marco, because I've chatted to all those outside and seen their videos. But Mr. Pricey, yeah, I see him quite a lot. Yeah, okay. He's got the little icon with the laser eyes. Is that? It looks like what's it? Doesn't he? The trainer. What's his name? Al Brooks, doesn't it? Looks like Al Brooks with laser beams going out of his eyes. So, yeah, did he take it or what? I don't think he took it. He marked it. Al Brooks with laser. Excuse me. I don't know if he took it. He marked it. Not sure whether he took it or not. Price is a great trader. Mixes Al Brooks with Thomas Wade. Quite aggressive, but he has a great feel. Yeah, I get you. He's got a quite in detailed chart. Usually, you can tell by people's chart and how they read the market, can't you? If they're reading the market right, and that's a good way. Neil, hi there. I'm relatively new to the stream. Joined a couple of times before. Nice to watch a stream with a fellow Brit. There is a few of us, buddy. I like the laid back style. It just sounds like I'm not laid back inside. I'm a gibbering, shaking mess, really. Where about you from, Neil? We have got a few from the UK in. 3 or 4, something like that, I think. There might be some. I think there's 1 or 2 that sit in the background. There's a couple of guys from London, one guy from Cheshire. There's a guy from Malpass, sort of Whitchurch way. Born and raised in Scotland. I live in London. Okay, so we got Sam as well. Sam's around as well. He's from Scotland. In fact, I was watching a guy doing order flow actually from Scotland. Mr. Order Flow, I think his name is. I got you. So as you'll get to know, I'm a massive single malt fan. So I should have been Scottish, I think. I've got whiskey running through me veins. That's for certain. So you trade Max system then, do you, or something similar? Born and raised in Scotland. Not got whiskey in my veins, but I have a lot of shortbread. Yeah, I know that feeling. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Shortbread with some milk. Oof, goes down nice. Ardbeg single malt. That's one of my favourites, the Ardbeg 10. Heavily peated. I'm a massive peated fan. In fact, that's intense, that is. That's probably my favourite peated whiskey. With Trade Max, I usually tune in. I am Trader Joe's. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I know, Joe, yeah. I got you. Ardbeg, yeah. There's two Ardbegs I'm aware of, the 10 and the Wee Beastie. It is nice, that is intense, quite strong as well. I think about 46%, isn't it? Something like that, but it's a nice whiskey, that. That's my favourite, followed by... what's the wide bottle? I think what it's called now. And then the Lafroigs as well. In fact, I got half a bottle of Lafroig 10 downstairs, which I'm going through again. I've had half a dozen of those in the last couple of 3 years, I think. Just know the one. What's the... There's another Isla whiskey, or wide bottle. I can't think what it's called now. That's another favourite of mine. I do like the peated whiskies. I keep trying to get, because my wife will have a whiskey. I keep trying to try the peated whiskey, but peated whiskies you either kind of love or hate. But first time I ever tried one, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, I had a Highland Park, and I thought it was absolutely disgusting. And a guy I know told me, just keep trying it, and it'll grow on you. And that's my favourite whiskey at the moment. So we've been up here once, we pull back and we're up here again, testing these all-time highs. So be interested to see where it goes from here. Port Charlotte, that's the one I'm thinking about. Port Charlotte. Trouble is, those peated ones can be quite pricey. I think the last Ardbeg I bought was about 60 quid, I think. Don't ever drink and trade either. I did that once. I think it was a Friday, maybe, I don't know, 7, 8 months, 12 months ago, something like that. It was a Friday, so I bought a bottle of, I think it was Aberlour up, and I cracked one on the stream, cracked the cork on the screen and on the stream, and someone in the background said, I've never said nothing, but as soon as I heard that cork go, it pricked my ears up. So I had a couple of them, and I think about an hour later, I'd had another few, and I'd blown about 10 evaluations, so don't ever drink. The trouble is, as soon as you have a couple of drinks, trading doesn't get scary anymore, and that's it can get quite dangerous. So that was an experience. So nothing you can do here. There's a high or low there, but we're into new territory there. You've got no idea where that's going to go. Could go up, could come down. It's all fresh territory, never been up here before. Just add 2 small. Yeah, my wife will have 2 drops of water. In fact, there is a Tamnavolin, there's a port cast Tamnavolin, which is only 40% actually. And I put a tiny drop in that, maybe quarter of a teaspoon, something like that. But I'm good with most things. I don't really touch water in it, but that for some reason, maybe it's because of the port, that hint of port. Hey Jan, how you doing? NQ is not so bullish. In fact, I had a quick look at Bookmap with NQ on earlier, and it looked like it was slowly working down. Where is it? Yes, NQ. Yeah, it looks like we've had 2 legs down on the NQ there, doesn't it? We've been up here and we've had a couple of down and down. Is that? Yeah, it's just live, isn't it? It is the NQ, yeah. So yeah, it's sort of flattening off there, isn't it? So keep an eye on that. The trouble is, when you get into this area, you've got nothing to sort of nothing to compare it to, really. Obviously, certain areas of support, but once you get above this, there's nothing back here. That's the last bit there, and we've had that little bounce there. We've had a couple of legs through it, so it really could go anywhere. So I was just saying it's flicking around a little bit, so there's obviously a bit of volume here. But look, it's volume that's pushing up. I think it was flicking around, and I thought this may drop. Okay, there is a little bit of news here. That may have been that flickering. Yeah, I just noticed, yeah. So that little bit of flickering, yeah. It was oil, I think? Oil, I know. Inflation, consumer sentiment. Yeah, it doesn't do much, that. Occasionally it just does, it has a flicker. We're overdue a correction, we certainly are, mate. Yeah, it is. The trouble is, when it's doing this constantly, it's hard not to have in the back of your head. I mean, look at this thing. It's flipping rocketed up. Look over the last week. We've gone up 270, no, more than that, 7, 8, 39, 30. We've gone up about 300 points. Yeah. What's that, about 6%, isn't it? Something crazy like that over the last week. Obviously, the election probably has a lot to do with that. But the trouble is, it's very hard to not have in your head that this thing could come down. And when you're seeing things like this, you're a little bit nervous about getting into them. So that all-time highs is going to moving up. Yeah, Thomas Wade didn't take that because he said that looked like 2 legs up to a new high, and you could see it was struggling there right around this area. So we got this push down below the EMA. You don't know when it's going to have a little pullback and then come down some more. So a bar like that, although what's good for it, what's going for it, is the fact that we did this, but a lot of the times it'll do that when it comes off the top. It'll push below the EMA, have a little pullback, and then it'll, traders will decide whether it goes up or whether it comes down. And once we get a push below something like that, usually then, especially in a range, I'd expect it to sort of continue down. But I'd always be wary about going along there, especially when we're hitting these levels. If I was scalping a point, I would take maybe some of these, but I'd just go for a little bit more. So have a look at the NQ. Yeah, the NQs. Well, having said that, it is still quite rangy. Obviously, it's a little bit higher. We've had 2 legs up. This looks the same, and then we have... So it kind of is. We've had that push down. We've had 2 legs up. We're capping off like this, and then we've pushed down, but we've only got up to some, kind of this level. That bullish bar there, consider that a failure. It's triggered, and this is coming down. So my gut is telling me this is going to push down and pick up the liquidity below that bar there, and that may send it lower. But 2 legs up, we could have... You know, we could have that sort of leg and a leg back, something like that, and then this thing continues on up like, you know, like the ES is doing at the moment. Wow, look at that. Okay, that might have changed things. So that could be rejection from there, couldn't it? No, I thought we were due for something, but I didn't quite expect that. So maybe we're getting a penguin style trade here. That kind of looks like we may do. Channel up, 2 attempts to go lower, and then a push up. So my gut tells me if we get a bullish bar here, around about like this, and that pushes up to that EMA, I think this is going to go and break these highs. Now, the good thing about that is if this follows it, which it usually does, we'll aim to break these highs from this channel. So at least at the moment, longs are still on the cards, but shorts are sort of null and void just at the moment. So let's see if we get that penguin style setup on that NQ. So we had to get something there, really, didn't we, I think? All-time highs again. And not only that, we've had this bit of sideways, and we've had 2 legs up. Two measured legs up. So hopefully, it's not a huge channel, so it may not do that scenic route. Okay, so I'd still expect this. Now, you could consider it. You may say it's a breakout of that, but I'm not looking at it as a breakout. It's gone too far for a breakout of that, in my opinion. That's a breakout. That would be a breakout and then pull back. But we've had that. It tried to come back in and continued on up, which tells me this is more of a channel than the range, unless the range is at this top. But if you look at that from yesterday, that looks like 2 legs. Yeah, not quite 2 legs. So push up, 2 legs back, push up. So it really could do anything here. So we got a bearish bar there, which is triggered. So if this pushes up the EMA, I'll be looking for a failure to test these highs. And not only that, that NQ, that penguin style trade, 2 legs up, 2 legs back. It's aiming in the right direction, a perfect kind of measured leg back. Look at that, right to the tick, and this is pushing up strong now. So I'm guessing the NQ is going to push up and test these highs, and if it does, which is looking like it does, my gut feeling, I'll be looking for a higher low now. I'd like a bearish bar here to trigger and give us a failure, a short failure. Push down, try to go one straight. If this comes down bearish and triggers and pushes up, they're going to trap some shorts here, and I'll take a long there. It's setting up nice there. Having said that, it still could come down, and it's looking like it may do. But in all fairness, after that, I'd still rather a little bit more than this, and then a straight push up. I was hoping that bar wasn't as large and as bearish. And not only that, testing these highs, we've actually bounced it on top of this, which is encouraging. So I was hoping that would break this. Maybe it will. Trigger this bar and then push it. Okay, so we've triggered it now. Let's see where it'll go now. Trouble is we could get a leg down, 2 legs up, and then a leg down. Now that's interesting. Okay, tempting that is, but what I'm seeing now is congestion. So I'm not taking that because it could trigger you, come down and stop you out and then go in that direction. So I'm just sitting tight here. This is congestion to me. So we could get a leg down and another leg down, a bigger correction after that move. So just sitting tight. I mean, it is a second entry short that after we push below the EMA, but after this channel, I at least want to give it time to retest the highs. So I won't be taking a short anywhere here. It doesn't mean it won't work. Now, you may consider that a triple test. Bounce, bounce, bounce. But I'm not sure at the moment. We could have a correction. Get us down to here somewhere. Something like this I wouldn't take in case it triggers you and has a full 2 legs down. But if we can get a higher low working that way and it's convincing enough. I actually don't think it's that bad actually there. It's very tempting that. Okay, I'm glad I'm glad it hasn't looked nice. On this NQ, here, there's a second entry long there with 2 nice legs down. So if that triggers, which it has, I don't think that's a bad trade personally. Channel up, 2 legs back, but it's triggered and looks like it's coming down. I'll be surprised if that does come down there, but you could consider that a triple test, but I'm just not sure what's going on at the moment. My concern is this comes back a little further. Could be a lower high there, see trapping some longs. More of a leg back. Could possibly move that range to here, see. Channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. There's probably going to be some long stops below that area there. So, although I'd like to see this area retested at the moment, it's not ready to go up, I don't think. And we may get a bit more of a leg down, clearing out any of this. It's looking like it may flush below that lot there and clean this out. There's going to be some stops there quite likely, depending on where you got in. I'm guessing your stops are going to be there. This looks to me like it's going to have a quick push and clear anything like that out. So we could get a leg, 2 pushes up and another leg. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, still staying out. I wouldn't be surprised if that triggered and it came down. It's definitely more on the bullish, but it's, I mean, we've had a push up, but you just can't take that. It'd be interesting to see if it triggers it and stops it out. Trouble is, I mean, you could say it's bouncing there, but and it is, but it's still congested. But if you look, these tops are still slowly working down, so it's just not safe to trade here, in my opinion, at the moment. Could go up or it could break below these. I'd still like to see it test these highs, but whether it'll do it straight away or whether it'll take a little bit more sideways before it does move up. Push down, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there is a higher low there. I just don't want to go long into there. You don't know if it's going to tick above you and come down, but okay, let's see if we get a breakout pullback. Second entry short here, trigger short, and then go long. Let's have a look. We want a bearish bar here, and for that to trigger, we'd have a nice failure then. I'd like that. Sometimes, though, if buyers are convinced this is going up, sometimes it'll just... I don't know whether buyers are getting in earlier nowadays rather than waiting and getting in a little bit further back. Come on, come down. This thing's just going up, isn't it, I think? Come on, give us a bearish bar. So many times now it doesn't, it just takes off. which is a bit frustrating. So NQ's done what I expected. 2 legs back, strong push above the EMA. That's a penguin style trade to me. So I'm pretty sure this is good. I mean, look at that. It's so frustrating, really. Just nothing in the way of a pullback. In fact, we're gapping a bit there, which is, it's some quick buying, I think. Come down and retest this, we may get in. But so many times, I've noticed sometimes, a lot of the time we do this, we just don't get a pullback and it just pushes straight up. It is frustrating, but there's no entry here for me. There is a higher low there, but you just can't take that. As much as I think it's going up, it's when it goes up. If we can just get a quick bearish bar down here, we may get an option. And we got, yeah, someone's just mentioned we couldn't get through the overnight highs, which is encouraging. There is a possible larger channel up there. It's frustrating when you got a pretty good idea where it's going. So touch, there may be something larger. And there is a triple test here, but that bar just isn't good enough, unfortunately. Get fill the higher low, try to take on a limit order. Yeah, I mean, we've got a fair idea where it's going, haven't we? Unfortunately, the day, you know, I had to stop. So many times I'd just jump in here and think this is going up, I want to get in, and they'd have a pullback and stop you out and then go in that direction. So after a while, you just give up doing the silly stuff. You just have to wait, unfortunately. Sometimes you'll wait an hour, sometimes you'll wait 2 days. Depends on kind of how risk averse you are. But yeah, unfortunately, it's just one of those things. But you do learn after a while. I can't tell if you look back some of my older videos, going back a couple of years, you know, I'd see the market going on and I'd just jump in. I can't tell you how many stupid trades I'd taken it. And it's amazing how we do it. We see the market going and we just don't want to miss. So we jump in and you know, these markets have been sort of cleverly manufactured, haven't they? With these algorithms, just to sort of look for weak positions. And where the weak positions, you'll usually find experienced traders. Sorry. Shame, really. Shame we didn't start working up that line. Okay, so I've put a trade where I think a penguin will go. That leg's gone a bit further, but I'm not too concerned with that. But he would take a trade around about here, I'm guessing, as long as he's out for the top. So it'd be interesting to see whether that one works. In fact, close that down a little bit. Let's just see if it does anyway. 2 legs back, a push up, little pullback. Let's see if that works. So I've been watching one of your old videos thinking it was live. I was wondering. Did you? We all have days like that, mate. Don't worry about it. Yeah, in fact, I've if you watch Bookmap once in a while, Bookmap will say it's live, but it's not. And I've done that before, and I've taken risky trades based on what was happening 11 days ago on Bookmap. So yeah, we all do that. Okay, what are we going to do here? Are we rejecting off this line? Are you trading micros or minis? Minis, I am, Nick. Minis. 2 minis. Micros is for girls. No, I'm only kidding. Some people trade micros and make a fair amount of money. It depends how you trade. I mean, I'm going for 3 points, but, you know, some people may be, you know, sort of going for a lot more on micros. You can do, you know, pretty well at it. Obviously, if you know what you're doing. So we've got this channel out here. It looked initially rangy, which is why I stayed out of a trade there, although it was kind of confirming that channel. But the fact we've had such a lot of support here and it's been rejected, and we've had a measured move, you don't know whether this thing is going to push through that EMA, come back, retest it, and then drop some more. And then we've had 2 legs up, more all-time highs. We've never been up here before. And now we're retesting it. So whether this is going to continue on up or retest it a couple of times and then take a correction, but we are due. We're due a correction. We've got to be. We've gone up a massive amount over the last week. I think I worked out we've gone up about 6%, something like that. 300 odd points, 5-6%, something like that, which is a fair amount in 3 or 4 or 5 days. 4 days. 6% is a big move up. Now, obviously, we've had the elections, and you know, Mac's been saying for a while they're not going to allow these markets to drop with the elections which we've now had. So you don't know whether, well, let's take a second entry long here and the thing triggers you and drops like a stone. So we've got to get a second. I just don't like this sideways stuff here. Channel break. Trouble is, you know, sometimes you can be thinking we've got to have this, we've got to do that, it's got to be due. You know, in an hour's time, we may be up here. And I've had to really sort of allow myself to just consistently keep open-minded and just not assume anything, because I've been trapped so many times. And when you're an experienced trader and you get trapped, it usually means moving your stop. And you could be convinced this thing's going down and you're moving your stop, moving your stop, moving your stop, and sooner or later you run out of liquidity. So, and always, also there is the possibility that, you know, later on in the line we could come down and this may be just a bigger range. In fact, I'm going to lose the colour from there. But yeah, we came down and bounced overnight highs. We couldn't get through there. And then obviously as this started pushing up, the trouble is you don't know whether it's going to trigger you, stop you out and have more of a correction or more of a second leg. you know, a lot of the time, as we know, price will go down, go sideways and go down. We'll have like a mirror image. So when it's going sideways, you just never know going long in there. Sometimes it'll tease you in, come down, stop you out, create a second leg and end up taking off where you think price was originally going to go. So channel break, new high. I always like to have 2 pushes to a new high. And then let's see where price goes. So at the moment, I'm just sitting tight. So for me, it looks like the NQ is going to push up. I like the fact that we've come down, maybe trapped some shorts, thinking another leg. Triggered it, pushed up bullish. This is a higher low. So my gut feeling is it's going to take this. So we've got a channel up in the way of 2 legs. We got a nice correction, 2 legs back, and a little bit more of a drop. We had a bearish bar, but then it turned and pushed up straight above the EMA. So my gut feeling is we're going to have a leg. More of a penguin style trade this and getting out somewhere here. So I'm not trading it, but I'm just, you know, just marking it and see if it works. Just can't trade anything here, unfortunately. So, are we going to trap these longs here and push down? I would have said lightly. 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test. So when we're into these all-time highs again, especially when that channel's played out, you never quite know what it's going to do here. But if I took that bullish bar that far from the EMA and that close to the support, I'd expect it to trigger and get stopped out. But you just, at the moment, this market's that strong, you never know where it's going to go. Excuse me. So I think that'll likely get stopped out, that bar. It is a higher low, but you just never know how it's going to react up here, dear. And the market has got a habit of doing this. If you don't take that one, it'll give you a second one slightly higher. It's like, quick, you're going to miss this, jump in. And I don't know how many trades I've seen. I haven't got the nerve there. When this one forms, I'm thinking, yeah, let's go here. I'm going to miss this. And all of a sudden it triggers you, comes down quick. For the measured move. Yeah, see. As I say, I always like to have 2 pushes after a break. So we got a break. 1 push, pull back, second push. So that channel's made played out, but there is a possibly a larger channel which may go off in itself up here somewhere. So that's always possible. But I don't know how many times I've been trapped by doing that. It gives you 1 bar. If you don't take it, it gives you another one slightly higher and then triggers you and stops everyone out. So break, leg and a leg. So that NQ is pushing up in the right direction. I think there's plenty of space up there. Oh, it's a little bit low, that. I'm not trading it anyway, but that's what I'd expect to get broken. Maybe some shorts in here. So if this is pushing up, I'm guessing it's going to eat up some stops there. So someone else now has put this out. So they're looking at a possible larger channel as well. So it's a possibility, but I just like to think if it comes back and continues on up, it's just nice to know where it may come down and connect with. Okay, well, it's making its way up or whatever it's doing. I can't trade here anyway, so I'm just we've been going just over an hour now. I'm going to make a quick cup of tea. I'd rather do it when we're quiet and there's no trades. It's got to be back here really anyway, and we're up here at the moment. So I'm just going to take a quick 3 to 5 minutes, make a cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay, wow. There's a failure there. We haven't broke below there, but I'm not convinced this thing is coming down yet. Let's get rid of that. Wow, look at that. So there'll have been some people taking the failure there. Look at that. Come down below the EMA. Triggered, pushed up, stopped out. And that second entry long held as well by the skin of its teeth. So I'm beginning to think this to buy, yeah, certainly is. Jan, yeah, you have a great weekend, buddy. Yeah, I'm not convinced this thing isn't going to continue on high. It's hard to say, really. Just starting to think that NQ may be starting to look bearish. Do you know what? I think at the moment I'm going to hold back on that bigger channel because at the moment we've had a break, 2 pushes to a new high. If it continues higher, then I may pull it back in. Taylor's in this trade. Trouble is, there's not much room to the tops, is there? You get a point. There's a point to the top. It's 1.25, but you've got to push through. So there's a point to the top. So, trouble is, we've had a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high. So it's hard to know. Yeah, it's funny that. That's the trade he's taken. He's just reiterated what I've said. Issue is how much room I have. I'm going to say you're not scared of price close high of the day. So yeah, it's just, it looks to me like quite a large bar that. I don't know how big it is. So if you go a tick above it, which is about there, and a tick below it, 3.75 points. Until this continues up out of this and higher, for me anyway, I'm kind of staying out of this. There may be a channel like that. There could be a wider channel, and if there is a wider channel, we could have one leg and a second leg. In fact, where does this come down to? Yeah, look at this. There's a possibility we could have a leg and a leg, and it would stop that out and stop that out. So that will be interesting. Leg and a leg. We'll see. It's all hypothetical at the moment, so there is a possibility we could have something like that, which would get us down to this area here. leg and a leg. Yeah, you and me both, Lucas. There's a point there to the top. A point and a quarter. So trouble is, when you reach it into all-time highs, it's hard to know where the damn thing is going to go. So if you go a tick above there, I mean, realistically, it's got to push through, so you get a point. There's a point left at the top, so for me, that's no good, especially for a 3.75 point risk. I want more than that. And the trouble is, you never quite know where it's going to go. So at the moment, we wouldn't have got 2 points. Let's put it right. It's about there. So you would have to push through. So when you break above there, you know, we've had a break of this channel and a couple of legs. So, I mean, it could end up here, but you know, you don't know that. That's the trouble. Usually use limit orders. Yeah. You could have got in a little bit there, but not much. So you could have got in maybe, so maybe a few ticks. You might have to push through. So a couple of ticks back from the end. But I mean, I go for 3 points. But you never quite know how far this thing's going to go. You know, we all know where it could go. And there is such a lot of support there. So for me, it's just a bit risky. I only look for a couple of trades a week. If I can get 2 trades a week, anything on top's a bonus. That'll get me all the money I need. Yeah, so he's got his 2 points. Around about here. So, oh yeah, look, I think he's just hit 2. Where did he went? Okay, so he got in a couple of ticks back, and he's gone for 2 points. So he got in around about, let's say, here. Yeah, so he's got his 2 points. Would I got 3? Well, no, he got in on a limit order, didn't he? I'd have probably got in there, and I may not have got that 3. It may go up, actually. But yeah, who knows how far? That's the trouble. So let's do that. So that is an area where it may get to. If we had a larger channel, how high could it go? So, yeah, I'm not sure about that just at the moment. I'm going to leave that. Trouble is, at any time it could do this and come down. I am aware there's some support there, so there's always a possibility, you know, we could range. You know, a lot of times after a big push up, we'll have maybe one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, make a couple of, you know, obvious moves lower before we push up. And that would be another reason to go careful going along there. That's for me personally, but he's been trading a lot longer than I have, Taylor. He knows what he's doing. And we all trade this thing slightly different. We all have our risk tolerance slightly different. So I'm not saying it's a bad trade. The setup's okay. The context tells me just to be wary, that's all. But, you know, we're all different. Freaking Bitcoin stuck in a range, yeah. Where's Bitcoin now? Is it still around about 76? 76,000, isn't it? To close of the second touch. Are you on about this one here? In about here, are you? It may be there. It's hard to say, isn't it? You on about this one? Get rid of that now, I think, can't we? It's actually working, not terribly, actually. It looks like a leg up and then another leg up, the way it's continuing up. So we got this one. Oh, you on about more of a... you on about something like that, are you? Like a spike in a channel? I don't know. So where is Bitcoin now? $76,000. Unbelievable, isn't it? It went down to 15,000 at one point, Bitcoin last year, or this year. Solana's just hit $200. That is unbelievable. I can't believe I had 40 of them, which I paid $18 each for, and I sold them at $23. Wow, $200. Everything's doing well. I bought Doge at 5 cents and sold it. I can't remember what I sold it at now. That's just floating under 20 cents. It's gone up 400% from its low. If you put BTC on 5-minute chart, you will see the madness. Oh, is it? I don't think I can on this. It's just a coin market cap. Let me have a look. I don't think it will. Oh, yeah. I've got the 24-hour one. Yeah, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's the 7 days the same now. 24 hours, yeah. Yeah. Interesting to see how high Bitcoin gets in this bull run. Where is this going? I wonder if there's a spike in channel there from that there. Let's just remove these, are in the way a bit. I'm not sure about that. At least that was 2 obvious legs down. This is just a first entry, unfortunately. I mean, what I will say, in fact, I'm going to remove that because it is working nice in this tier. We had 2 legs up and we worked a little bit in the top tier, then we came down and across. And now at the moment, we're working in this bottom tier and it seems to be working okay. So if we can get 2 legs back at a second entry long, I may have a go at there because if we can get back to this, it will confirm this. We've got a touch here. I like the way both those bars, they ticked right on there, and this is fitting nice, which is telling me maybe there is a bigger channel. So if we can have a second entry down here and confirm this, I may go along there. I do like the way it's working in this tier, so whether there's a separate channel or whether it is part of a 2-tiered channel for a bigger channel, either, I'll take either or. See, someone's got a channel like that. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. You can hardly. I wish it was that simple. So there may be something like that. Typical price target on a scalp. I go for 8 ticks, but I do. Sorry, 12. I went back over dozens and dozens of my trades, and I've looked on other people's charts as well, and worked out how would I be better off whether I went for 4 ticks, 6 ticks, 8 ticks, or 12 ticks. And it was a resounding 3 points. But good setups will go for 3 points comfortably. But they've got to be a good setup. Taking something in a small range, hoping to get out up here, hoping it's going to go bigger. Not so much, but I will adjust it. I mean, if we're in a 5-point range and I take a short here to the bottom, I will take it down at 2 points. I've got no issues with that. Using runners. So everything I've learnt about runners is, I know Mac will say don't risk any more than 25% of your risk on a runner, so that will be 4 contracts and then trading one of them. And not only that, today is the way price is working today. I see so many trades come back and take the stops out before they go. So I kind of like to get in, get the points, and get out. If you notice, but as I progress through trading and maybe start to trade my own money, then maybe at some point I may do. But at the moment, I kind of like sort of getting in and getting out. You know what I mean? So someone's took that trade there. I don't know why, because that's going to get stopped out. But this is 1, 2, 3, a triple test. If this ends up bullish, this is a triple test and a second entry long. A leg down. Let's see how far this goes. Triple test is out of the question now anyway, so I'm just going to move this out of the way just in case this thing takes a big dump. But yeah, someone took that trade. Matty, I'm really surprised. Sorry, tell a lie. Yeah, he took that trade. Trade 3 contracts, 2 scalp, 8 ticks, 16 ticks. And that changes the maths. Yeah. I'm gonna have to sit down and work it out and go back over my trades and see how things would have worked. But yeah, I'm not completely averse to it. How you doing, Clay? How you doing, buddy? I'm fine. Yeah, I've got no issues with doing it if it works out okay. But I see so many traders. Well, I say so many, maybe not so much, but I see a lot of traders. Wow, is this the 2000 tick chart? Yeah, it is. That's a shame. On my other chart, that was kind of looking nice. Second entry long there above the EMA, but
Order canceled.
Trouble is, what is this? This is the S, isn't it? We've had this and a break, 2 pushes to an. Yeah, it's hard to say at the moment. This is my second chart. Yeah, saw Thomas many times take 20-point runners. I also saw him a lot of times, seeing the price go up 6 or 8 points and coming back and stopping him out. But yeah, I absolutely agree. It can change the numbers sometimes, can't it? I have been through and looked at charts and worked out, 1.6 ticks, 2 points, 10 ticks, and to see how I'll be better off. But what I haven't done is gone through it with the runners, but I might have to have a look. Another thing with runners as well is what I may do is as my accounts grow and I get a little bit more in there and I don't have to worry about the drawdown being affected, then I may start to incorporate that. I'll certainly look into it because, if anybody makes a suggestion and they say it works okay for them, then it makes sense that I should look into it. So, yeah, I will have a look for sure, buddy. I'm just going to adjust this. And see if this. Yeah, I don't like this because we're working in a channel that way. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not saying it's right or I'm not saying it's wrong. I can't find I can't. That just it doesn't make sense to me. This at the moment. But yeah, I certainly going to look into it. I can't seem to get anything I like here. Let's look at that. To me, once we get above here, we're working in this top tier, and we come down the bottom, and now we're working in this bottom tier. Wow, look at that. A leg and a leg. See if we get a higher low here, maybe. So, triangle once, triangle twice. The failure has triggered. But it's got to be a higher low, really. So, if it is a different channel, then it may. Yeah, full scalp feels safer though, because your risk is higher. Every runner comes to break even less. Yeah. I'll tell you what else. The trouble is, the longer you're in these runners for, you never quite know what's going to happen with the market. But, obviously, if you move, you move your stop up generally. If something, I don't know, happens in the news or something breaks with your computer or something, at least you've got your stop in place, and it is only a single contract, isn't it, in most cases? So yeah, I've always kind of liked getting in and out of a trade. But if it's going to be more profitable, it'd be certainly worth doing the numbers, that's for certain. So touch. That's confirmed it, I think. So if we can get a higher low here, maybe there's an option there. We'll see. leg and a leg push off this bottom, which is interesting. NQ range day. Yeah, I have had the NQ on a chart above my head today. Yeah, pretty much just going sideways in it. I did put that mark in there for that trade 2 legs back. Is it going to work? It's hard to say. It's struggling here. 2 legs up, 2 legs back. I still think that's going to push up. We want a higher low here, which we haven't got. I've got 4 monitors. I've got one 27-inch and 3 24-inch. Trouble is, when you're streaming, you've got more. You need more screens. I've got the YouTube on one, which is what we're chatting on now. I've also, if I bring this in quickly, I've got, it's going to look a bit strange, but there's my OBS, which runs the stream. So I've kind of got them on 2 screens. I've got this screen that you see in front of me. Top one, I've got this. And the one to my left, I've got the Thomas Wade's thing. So I've also got me flow bots and all that. So just 2, but I've got this 2000 tick chart and another one on a screen above my head, 2000 tick chart, just with end of day deselected. And it just makes these bars ever so slightly different, and sometimes it just gives you a better looking signal bar for a setup. So yeah, 4, but I use them all. In fact, I could have done with a spare, really. I have got a Mac, an older MacBook floating around the house somewhere. But yeah, my screens are pretty full. I have considered replacing one of them for one of the widescreen ones, maybe a 4K monitor. Eventually, I'd like to get 2 of those super wide screens. The trouble is, when you've got 4 monitors, you've got 4 power leads, 4 HDMI leads, and there's bloody cables everywhere. I have got one of those sit-stand desks, and when you've got so many cables, there's that much cable management, zip ties and all sorts of stuff behind. But yeah, I have considered. So there is a higher low here, but as far as I'm concerned, it's too far from that AMA, and we're same again. We're right into the highs here, and you don't know whether it's hard to know when you're into new territory how far this thing's going to go. Fortunately, we had 2 legs back. This second leg was a lot bigger. There was no setup there, and then we just took off. So unfortunately, it does that a lot lately. If people, the same down here, no real setup, and then it just took off. Whereas a lot of the time, you know, a couple of years ago, this thing may go up, have a little pullback, and you know, or a high low, you got an opportunity to get in. I was hoping we were going to get a breakout pullback, which would trigger, but nothing really. In fact, we haven't had a huge amount of volume today. Market opened around about here, so how long have we been going for now? Hour 45. So all we've had in an hour and 45 minutes is that, which is not a lot, really. fact, I'll show you what I'm looking at. The charts are slightly different, but I'll show you my chart at the moment. The charts or screens or setup, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I took this about a week and a half ago, something like that. At the time, I was trading with the NQ and the ES at the time, but you can see there. I had Bookmap there. I don't know. I think I got YouTube and OBS. I think that's OBS. So yeah, it's pretty cluttered, to be fair. I got quite a lot of stuff on it. It's a bit bright, that, isn't it? But yeah, I bought this recently. Sit-stand desk. I love it. It's what quality. It cost me about £240, but the quality is brilliant, and it pushes so you can literally stand right up. So I really like it, actually. My other one had a bow in it. It spent nearly 3 years sat on a desk that was too thin, but I do like those sit-stand desks. I love them. No, I'm not. I had it on there just for a couple of days. I was looking at it because I was trading evaluation. I was going for more of a swing, but no. I mean, this is. I'll show you mine now. Actually, probably. I'll just take a quick snap of it. This is what I'm looking at the moment, but things are pretty cluttered. It looks a bit dark, actually, but you'll get the idea. Struggling to get up, isn't it? Still. I'll show you what I'm looking at now. It's getting a bit dark in the UK now, so it's not the brightest of pictures. What time was it? 4:15, so it's starting to get dark. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now. So I don't have a lot of space, to be honest with you. I've got my main chart here, as you can see. Chart above, I've got another 2000 tick chart. Under that, I've got all my Ninja Trader stuff. There's YouTube now with all the comments. There's OBS running it. There's Thomas Wade's forum, and I've just got it's just showing me accounts with the amounts on there and Replicanto below it. So I mean, it's pretty clogged. You know, I've had to split this into 2 screens, so there's not a huge amount of space. So if I had Bookmap on it, it kind of would struggle a bit. But I've got everything I need, so it's ideal, really. You got any cricket fans out there, have we? You may recognise that one picture. It's a print, that is, of a bowler. He's no longer with us, sadly enough. He died at about 54 years old, I think. Shane Warne, an Australian spin bowler, about the greatest we've ever seen, really. That guy there. Wife got me that for Christmas. I love that picture. It was his last ever test match. But yeah, you can't really see it very well, but love that print there. So there's nothing you can do here, see? We had something very similar here. along there going into all-time highs, really. We need a decent pullback and get something lower down, giving us some space. But same with, I mean, there's a higher low there, but there's nothing. There's no space at the top. So you never quite know whether it's going to hit this 3 times and take a bit of a dump, unfortunately. So it does look like this is continuing up. We've had a break of this channel. We've had a couple of pushes up. We've had a couple of legs back. We're going up, back, up. So, but it is getting a little bit congested. So, unfortunately, that was the only other option in, but I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it. But my account's not looking too bad. I've got 3 of them at $1,400 and 1 of them at $2,000 or just under $2,000. Yeah, in fact, I was chatting to Sean this morning, and we were talking about Mac's chart last night, and I don't know if any of you guys noticed, he does this a lot. I don't quite know why. I'll just get his chart up. He cuts the lots of bars off. And I don't know whether it's just a movement of, you know, sometimes when it pulls out of this, sometimes these flick into place. But I had a lovely looking channel yesterday, and let me just find this chart. I don't know why he does it. I can't for the life of me work it out. So it's last night.
The double top.
Take the sound off, but where was it? Okay, yeah, this chart, I'll make it a bit bigger so you can see it, but let's pause it. You see this? We touched here. It's a little bit away. See how he's cut through that? But if you look at the top of this price action, from here, it's slowly feathering away. It's not doing it at random tops. It's slowly feathering away. So if you grab the bottom of that chart and bring it out a little bit, it'll incorporate that bar and make that channel fit absolutely perfectly. So I don't know why he does that. It's weird. But you can see if there's a line running right from the centre, right the way back to where it meets here. So if you bring that down, it would fit so much better. So I don't know why he does that, but he does that a lot, cuts bars off. I mean, I don't know how he's got that bar there. It starts from the top and then all of this is out. And, you know, even if you adjust that bar, we're still going to get the break. But yeah, I don't quite know why he does it. Whether it's just how he does it or not, but it just, if you look at the angle of the price action, it's not as steep as the angle as the actual chart. Do you know what I mean? It's unusual. I don't know why he does it. But I thought that channel fitted absolutely perfect yesterday. Where did we had it from here? I think, didn't we? Something like that. Oh no, I had it from there, didn't I? That's how I had it. I mean, I thought it fit absolutely perfectly, touch, but it cut off a chunk of bars. And you see how that's working perfectly up that channel. If I adjust it how he had it, where he cut a section of that bar off, it doesn't quite make sense. I know it looks like we've had a break here, but But it is, if you consider it a break and a new high, it came back, went up again, came back, went up again. So it continued up for me. And that was the break, which was a correction. So a leg and a leg, and eventually pushed up to, after such a big channel like that up, price rarely, after such a big move up, price rarely breaks and pushes straight up. It usually takes the scenic route. Like that, we get a leg down and we get a leg down, and then it moves up, and in between it does a lot of flipping around. And the bigger the channel, the more this messing around of price does, which tells me that isn't a break at all. And when you actually fit the bottom of that, it touches perfect, 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 and everywhere along that top is fitting beautifully. And you have to incorporate the top as well, because it's where people take profits. We push up, people take profits, it pulls back. But look how nice the top of that chart fitted all the way along, and how it's fitted on the midline. So if you cut off half of that bar down the bottom and put it like that, yes, we get a break, but look, the top's not fitting. So I don't know, perhaps it's just me, but I just couldn't quite understand how he was looking at that. So sometimes I do wonder whether he's finished with his chart for the day and he just quickly, just sort of grabs this and just quickly moves on and does it without kind of, taking as much care. But it's not a criticism. I just don't quite understand how he cuts bars off when, price works perfectly. If you start cutting bars off, the chart can be quite different. So I'm not sure anyway. So same again. We're look how we go inside. There's definitely mixed feelings here. Is this going up? Is it coming back? I mean, if you've got this channel and you put this like here, we could have a small break there. I'm not convinced we have. But there is two schools. I thought that could be a channel as well. But I'm not a fan of that one. I think this channel kind of fits, we have two legs up, we use the top tier here, and then we come back and we use that bottom tier. So unfortunately, you just can't do nothing here. It's got to be back here, really. But that, to me, is finding some support. So this thing is due a correction. Have we had? No, we haven't had two legs yet, have we? There really is nothing you can do here. I am wondering whether we may get a break here. We do seem to be losing a bit of momentum. See, someone's posted a chart with a channel like that, which I think they're right. I got rid of it because that's what we got anyway in this two-tiered channel, so it's working in this bottom tier. So I like the way we're working along that midline, really nice. As soon as we're getting above it, we're dropping. Itself is flat, yeah. Theory maybe getting a pullback. Yeah, the trouble is when it's constantly making new highs, it's hard to know exactly where the thing could go, but we've got to get a correction at some point, haven't we? But I have got that down as a possible two leg, so, you know, as much as it's going slow and slowly grinding it, how far are we away? 5, 10. We're only 10, 12 points away from that, which is nothing really, so we could get two legs. But the trouble is, when it's grinding slowly, it doesn't make you feel very confident about taking a trade. We push up, we go. Yeah, well, that's it really, isn't it? You know, it's at that crunch time, you know, obviously if this thing pushes back slowly and starts pulling back, obviously volume will increase, sellers will come in. But the trouble is with buyers, when you're going into sort of new territory, there's no sort of ground rules, is there? There's nothing back here that will come into support or anything. So that's the thing, really. If we were coming into support, you could understand where people might be taking profits or sellers might be coming in. But at the moment, it's just we're in the new territory. It's the thing, isn't it? Someone just said it's like watching a dog run in slow motion. It's a bit, isn't it? You can see those ears slowly flapping. It's nothing worse than when it goes like this. The trouble is the volume is going to be lower, so that's, it ain't moving. In fact, let's have a look at Bookmap, see what that's saying. Yes, let's have a look. There is large amounts of volume up there, to be fair. It's sat there. There are orders around about this. Well, you can see it, can't you? This area here up to 627. So, but you don't know. I mean, sometimes it'll get close and then slip back into this area. There's very low volume here, so you don't know if this thing's just going to quickly slip back to this area and then pick up. You don't know whether it's going to smash. Why stop playing this? You don't know whether it's going to smash straight through this area and push higher. It's hard to say. We're having a pullback now. I still fully don't understand how all this works. I understand, obviously the heat map. These aggressive buyers and sellers. You understand this, but I don't know the difference between is a take profit the same as a sell order? Because if you buy it, you sell it up here. But so it's kind of like an order sat there waiting to sell. And then you've probably got people thinking, if it gets to this level, I'm going to sell. So how do you know the difference? Because sometimes it'll get to this area and drive through like a horse. But when you expect it to hit the sell orders, and then the thing to tank in the other direction. So I'm assuming this is the DOM as well. I don't understand how this works. I've never really took time to learn, really. Obviously, with a price action trader, we kind of keep it simple, but I don't think it's a bad thing learning how all this works. I certainly am paying a bit more attention to order flow, volume. Paying attention to order flow. A lot of people say when they start to understand order flow, it helps them immensely. Okay, so is that a breakout pullback? We break out, we pull back, bearish bar, someone, shorts jump in. I just can't bring myself to go long into that anyway, even if it forms. But we kind of broke out of this and we pulled back to it with a bearish bar. Some people are saying I'd like a higher low, but the trouble is the higher low is going to come further up here. Use an apex, etc. Still use order flow, assuming. I think I get order flow for free because I've got a NinjaTrader lifetime license. So I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have a chart with it all set up. Let me have a look. Templates. Load. Okay, let's have a look at this. Maybe not. Maybe not. No, maybe I haven't. No, maybe I haven't. Ninja Trader, but if you're a lifetime license, how does that work with Apex, since you have to sign in with your credentials? I still use my own code. You can use your own code. I do. I still sign in with it, but they give you a license, but I choose to use mine because there are certain indicators and certain things I can have that don't come with theirs. So I just use mine. I do. I did start using theirs sort of when I started moving towards the Apex a couple of years ago. So Thomas Wade's now changed his chart to the same as mine. That makes me feel a bit better. He's incorporated it now because it is working that second tier. Gotcha. Good to know. Yeah, I couldn't have order flow if I haven't got it at the moment, but it is there. I have got it. I could get it if I want to, but there are certain things you can have that you don't have to pay extra for if you got a lifetime. I mean, I bought my lifetime license about 3.5 years ago. I've never really, I bought it because the plans were then to trade my own money, but at the time I didn't realise how difficult trading was going to be. So what is going on here? I don't like it starting to get a little bit choppy and a bit dangerous, and that does make it dangerous to trade. It's hard to know what the hell's going on here. I want a break here, really. A break of this channel. Or some sideways or something. A bit of ranging or something. Maybe we get like 2 legs down here. But it is looking a bit weird, isn't it? My only issue about 2 legs down here is there ain't much room to the tops. That ATR is getting lower and lower. I mean, that whole range is only 2.5 points. I go for 3. And I'm assuming taking along with the bar sat on here, which means entering around about here, so there's just no space. Which is why I'm hoping we get a break. If we're moving up in this tier here, every time we're getting up here, it's maybe losing some momentum now. So I'd really like to get doing a bit of sideways, and maybe we catch a triple test down here to go along with something. But this is just, it's just slow and just not looking appealing to go long just at the moment. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Now, is this just going to be a little bit of sideways? Or is this where price goes? This is as high as we're going. Now let's reverse. You just don't know, do you? Overall market is declining. It certainly could be, mate. It's definitely, I mean, if you consider this a two-tiered channel, we're hitting the tops every time beautifully, but 2 legs up now, we're struggling to get anywhere near this, and it's starting to lag a little bit, so I expect a break. Where it goes exactly, whether we have a, after a move like that, I'd expect a little bit more than the break and then a new high, so I'm guessing maybe some sideways or a correction or something, I don't know. I mean, there is, no, I don't think so. It's okay. I was going to say there is a possibility of maybe something like that, but I'm not feeling that. Let's have another look at Bookmap, see what that's doing. We've still got a lot of orders set up here. Yeah, there's 1,000 orders sat there within a point. But I did mention this black bit here. It could slip down to these levels before it pushes up. So those orders are at 24 and upwards, aren't they? 24, 25 and 26. 25, 26. $24, 25 and 26. So around that area. So there are a lot of orders around this area here. So I think it was inevitable we get a break at this some point, because this is fitting nice. Then we start to struggle a bit. But it'd be interesting to see where this comes down. Will it come down to here and we get 2 decent legs, or There's a double bottom here. I think it's risky going long just at the moment. It's curious. When did you say there are a lot of orders? No, if they are buyers and sellers, don't think Bookmap is out. Yeah, I don't think I know, mate. I just know they're there. Yeah, I'm not aware whether you can tell them if they're buyers and sellers. See, if there's buyers in here and they're selling it up here, or if there's just sellers. See, Bookmap, yeah, shows you aggressive. Yeah, that's all right. I'm waffling a bit now. I don't know how there are. I don't know what these are, to be honest with you. I should really pay a bit more attention, but I mean, 26 now, there's 7. That's a big chunk of orders there, right up there. So is that guy saying, I'm going to take my profit there, so they're expecting to go up? But obviously, the more, the larger these numbers are, you're thinking it's traders with big pockets and they're more likely going to get rewarded. But you don't know whether, there are traders saying if it hits this area, let's put a sell order in for a reversal or something. Oh, I got no idea, really. See, I was always aware the more orders they were here, up here, compared to here, it's more likely to drift towards there. But then you've got to take into consideration the people just hit the buy and sell button. But this is having a little spike up here now. So, but yeah, I'm not sure really. My knowledge of Bookmap is limited. Red means sellers and green means buyers. Well, if you're a buyer and you take your profit, it's actually a sell order, isn't it? Because you bought the contract and you're selling it up here. Now, if you're a seller thinking I'm going to sell here and hope the market comes down, so whether you're a buyer taking profit or you're a seller and your orders say right where that is now, surely that is going to push the market down. Yeah. Well, I don't know. So we've got a little leg down. It's not much of a move, that. I'm just wondering whether there is a slightly different channel there. Because if that is a break of this, I'll be surprised if it just does that. So I do wonder whether there maybe is something something else. No, I don't know. Excuse me. It's funny, I was just looking at that. That little bar there, little double bottom. I was thinking it's actually quite a small risk there. But you don't know whether we're going to get another leg down. But someone took it. So tick above, tick below, it's 1.25. It's not a bad risk, that. We pushed down, we got a little bit sideways, and then straight up. So when I said this may range, maybe it's doing that. Yeah, it does seem to be curving more, doesn't it? Which tells me maybe it's not a channel, maybe it's just genuinely a break. 9 minutes to New York lunch. Why'd you have to go and mention food? Got me hungry now. I've got beef bourguignon for tea. Beef, onions, carrots, red wine, bit of cabbage, some mushrooms. I got some mange tout peas in there. I did it earlier. It's all ready. Maybe there is a channel there. Who knows? On that chart there, maybe. You're calling it for the day. Let's go and cook the dinner for the family. Yeah, you have that privilege as well, do you, bud? Watching paint dry, yeah. Yeah, you too. Take it easy, Andrew. I'll see you next week, buddy. Have a good weekend. Yeah, it's always nice to either end at 0 or end at green. I don't recommend ending Fridays. red. If it happens, it happens. But I always like to either be at 0. But yeah, it is quite slow, isn't it? I won't be far behind you. I don't think. I'll be going now to nearly 2.5 hours. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with 0-0, is there? You know, if you can sit here for 2.5, 3 hours and walk away without taking a trade, that speaks volumes for your patience, doesn't it? So I'm quite happy with that. It doesn't bother me anymore. Like you say, much better to walk away 0 than with trade down. 0's a result, isn't it? You haven't done anything wrong. It's not been a terrible week for me. I did have that loss, but I did take a. I've got a piece of it back, so Thomas Wade this score to help that patient's going to say, yeah, it does. I like his Discord, I do. I always like just to see what other people's opinions are. The trouble is, you guys can see my chart, so you can see my opinion and then weigh it up against your own. But with me, I'm kind of in the dark. So I do like the fact that I can see this because I can just find out, have a quick glance, and if I can't find something that fits, maybe someone might. And if I'm not sure, it is nice to just get a few different opinions. There's some nice people on here, actually. It's a nice, friendly place to be, actually. So it just helps me. As I say, you guys can see my chart, but I'm kind of in the dark with you. So I like the fact I can chat with you guys and just look at their charts and find out what they're doing. Thomas, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Taylor's another good trader. He used to do a lot of bar by bars going back 6 months a year, but he stopped. And a lot. He used to post a lot of his live trades as well, you know, after the fact. So yeah, he's another trader. It takes a lot more trades than I thought, actually, but he seems to have. He takes his fair share of losses, but losses aren't important. It's how you deal with them, isn't it? Really. And he seems to, I can see him take a loss and he'll come back perfectly patient and take a nice setup. Ben, I'm never far. But yeah, I wish Taylor would do some of his. Show some of his live trades again. I haven't seen one for a while. I haven't seen one for a few months because I'm subscribed to him. So usually, if I open up YouTube, which I do all the time, usually a video will pop up. I'll have to have a look. Usually, I have got a link to his on my website. I have got a link to his and Marco's because they teach, don't they? They have I think they do a course you can pay. So I have got a link on my website to those two. I think there's someone else, isn't there? Isn't it Taylor, Marco, and there's some other guy I don't think I've spoke to him. My website, it's on. There's not a lot on it at the moment. I just did it a couple. The UKfuturetrader.com. You can see on the bottom of the chart here. I've got a link to Max. There's just a bit of information. That's not much, to be fair. I just thought it was something I should do. But yeah, so I think there's a link to Mac on there and a link to Top Pick Trading. I think it's Top Pick Trading they call themselves. It's Top Pick Trading. Can't remember now. Yeah. You tried looking at it, didn't work. Did it not? Now look. Let's have a look. You know about my website or what's it's there? There it is there. Top pick trading. Yeah. There's Marco's there. Where can I go back? Yeah, there's mine there. There's not much on it really. There's just a few bits, you know, some discounts and stuff, resources. What I use, just books I've read, stuff like that. That's where I started with him. Takes you to a Squarespace login, does it really? That's unusual because that's what I use for it. Oh, I might have to have a look at that. But I've just typed it in. It takes me to where's home? Takes me here. I'll have to look into that because Squarespace is who I use. Not sure about that. I'll have to have a look into that. It takes me to it sometimes, but I'm there now, so yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that. Hey Karina, how you doing? The market is it's Veteran Day, is it Monday? I got your market's open. Thanksgiving. Yeah, okay, yeah. I think it'll be pretty much a normal day Monday, won't it? But obviously Thanksgiving's not worth it. I'll take Thanksgiving off as well. I like to consider myself half American now. I spend more time with you, more time with a lot of you US guys. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Are we going more this angle now? Toe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got. Yeah, I've not come across him at all. I recognise the name now you say it, but I've not come off it. In fact, I'm going to get rid of that now. Just at the moment, this looks like we're moving up here now, doesn't it? I like that. Let's just remove that. Yeah, I actually kind of like that, I think. Let's just tidy this up a bit. Time highs is coming up. Let's change the colours of these. So I think we've picked off a lot of this liquidity. There is a bit at 26. I actually prefer that push up, and this looks like we're going in a different level, which makes finding a trade a bit easier, I think. Now maybe a leg and leg, we'll see. So I kind of like that actually. I'm just going to post that. So yeah, I kind of like that. So if we can get a leg and a leg, then maybe we'll get an option here, but it's touching nice at the top. We've got a touch here, touch here, touch here. It does look like a spike in a channel that. We've gone up quite steep. We do that a lot of the time. We've gone up quite steep. Obviously, market, once it's getting close to these new highs, it seems to be going up at less of an aggressive angle. But I like that. I think that looks about. I just couldn't. I mean, obviously, I couldn't find something that fits everything. So if you break it down into two, I think that I'm quite happy with that. leg and a leg would be nice. Confirming this. Well, we have confirmed anyway. Went from here to there, to there, to there. Okay, it hasn't closed below there, and that looks like maybe a small overshoot. We'll see what happens here. Okay, what is going on here? In fact, do you know what? I'm going to knock it on the head there. I don't know what the hell's going on here, whether that's going to continue or what, but I'm going to finish there. How long have we been going? 2 hours and 40 minutes. So it's not an easy day today, I've got to say. So I'm going to go downstairs and have my dinner. I'm going to have myself a nice whiskey. So look, I appreciate your comments. We've had some nice chats today, actually. So, you know, keep it in mind, anytime you want to have a chat trading, you can private message me or email me, whatever you want to do. I'll happily chat shop morning, noon and night. So no trades for me today. Yeah, you too, Nick. So have a great weekend, stay safe, and we'll be back again on Monday and we'll do it all over again. My email, I'll show you. That's my email there. Or you can private message me. If you look on the Facebook group, the Max Facebook group, you'll see me in there. You can drop me a private message, whatever you want, and I'll. Sean messaged me last night when I woke up this morning. I got back to him. So, you know, I'm more than happy to chat trading. You know, it's as well as an interest. It's a sort of, as well as a passion for me, it's a real interest as well. So, you know, whatever's on your mind. So I will leave you guys to it. Best of luck if you're carrying on. Failing that, I will see you all Monday. So have a great weekend.